Welcome everyone, I am Nomin. I am a certified life coach. In today's session, I would like to talk to you about how to build a strong relationship with the people that you love the most. It's either be your partner, children, parents, extended family, friends, or co-workers. We all know that we want to be in a loving, caring, nurturing relationship with each other. But then, for some reason, it's not always like that. It's frustrating, and sometimes we find ourselves in a very difficult situation. And we know that we care about them. We love them. We want them to change for better goods. We want them to be better people. And when we say things to them, we have good intentions. We really care about them. That's why we want them to change. In this session, I will share with you what is the best way to build a strong relationship where people grow and strive to be the best versions of themselves together. I would say I had a very interesting life, and I would say I'm happy with almost all the relationship I have. Based on my own story of how I built my relationships, and also with all the research I done, the books I read, and also my experience as a coach told me there's one and only way how you can change someone, and one and only way how you can grow a long-lasting, loving and caring relationship with the people that you care. And I can guarantee it works. The best place to start is for you to take a pen and paper and start writing. For us to build the relationship that we want, the best place to start is ourselves. Why is it me that I have to work on to build a strong relationship with others? I'll tell you exactly why it needs to be done, but trust me, start discovering more about yourself. You might be thinking, I already know myself, but do it regardless. Please do it regardless. Spend time and energy on discovering who you are today, who you are right now at this moment. It's best if you start from the moment you were born. Who were your parents or caregivers? Who lived in the house that you grew up? What was the society like? What was the general mindset of the people? Which country you were born? What happened to the country when you were born? What was the main mindset of the caregivers that you had? For me, it's interesting because I was born in Mongolia, where it was a change of society. The democracy was just starting in 1990, so everybody was doing a business. What they were thinking was making sure there was groceries on the table, making sure that the basic needs were met. And that's what my parents thought was necessary, and it is necessary. Yeah, they were doing everything to make sure that the firstborn baby, which is me, had everything that she needs. The thing is, because my parents were so young, they were still growing themselves. Also, they had me. They were living in a small ger where they had to start the fire on their own. It's a very common house that's used by nomads. It's fully portable. In any time they can fold the gear and go anywhere they want. That's an environment I grew up. Also, when I grew up, they just moved to the city center, so they didn't know how to live a life in the city. They had to find a job. My parents had to find a job because they just finished the school, and on top they had me as a firstborn child. If I think about it now as an adult, it was not an easy life. Fresh out of university, students trying to build a new life in a new city, and then there was a small child in need of being fed, in need of a love. So I really admire my parents' effort. I'm so genuinely happy that they made it. They made this decision to have me, and then here I am. I'm so grateful for my parents. But I'm also seeing that when you're in that environment, if you think about as an adult now, if you visualize the picture, it is really hard to take extra step on thinking how this child feels. You almost have no time and opportunities to think about any needs other than the basic ones. The basic needs were there. My parents did not see the importance of being connected to their child. As newly married young couple, they were not given an opportunity and education to take a look at the importance of mental health of a child. They didn't know feeling connected to their child, it was also necessary for kids to grow. And when I took time on discovering on who I am, I realized that I was desperately lacking an emotional connection with other people. I didn't have emotional support that I need as a child. So what I learned to do is I had to stay strong, and I was disassociated with my feeling of being sad. I was disassociated with the feeling of loneliness. I didn't know that I was a lonely child. I didn't know I had all these traumas in my life until I sat with myself, and also I had a therapist for 5 times. And I also read this book called What Happened to You. It helped me a lot. I was so hardwired into believing that only things that matter are work that you do so that you get money, and giving this impression, this vision, the outside vision. I thought those were the most important things because that is the message I've been hearing. I didn't know I was so disassociated from my feelings because ever since I was a child, my need for emotional support, my need for feeling connected, my need to have a shoulder to cry on was entirely not there. And I had to look at myself as if it was somebody else, as if I am looking at the story of somebody else. And then I realized, if this was my childhood and if it was the environment I grew up, it makes sense then why I am the way I am. It makes sense that as a high school kid, I didn't have any friends. Why? Because I was not a happy kid. I didn't know that we need to be nice to each other. We need to listen to each other. The way I grew up is being told on what to do. What I was doing in life, in the relationships I had, was telling them what to do, telling them what I think is important. That's the only way I learned how to do things. That was the only way I handled the relationship. And I also learned that if hard work and being strong is the example that my parents gave me, it makes sense then why I was so successful at the work I was doing. It makes sense then why I studied so hard to get to where I want to be, because I practiced to work nonstop. I practiced to get the results I want to get. So it makes sense then why I didn't allow myself a break. I was hardwired to work hard and then stay strong. So I was also very judgmental towards people who were taking a rest, I was so judgmental to people who weren't successful and meet the expectations that the society have. I thought that was the norm. And then I had to realize that, oh, that was me because that is the way I grew up. And it makes sense then why I didn't have too many friends, because I had an awful personality. I didn't give any space to people around me, and I didn't listen to their opinions. I would be seen as very arrogant. I would be seen as very goal-oriented, working hard person. But deep inside, I wanted to build friendships. I wanted to have people, but I couldn't maintain them because I wasn't able to speak up from my heart. I couldn't have a genuine conversation, an authentic conversation with people, because that's not something I was capable of. I was so used to disassociating from my feelings. That's why I couldn't express my feelings. I had a lot of problems with the relationships because I couldn't handle hard conversations. So when I analyzed myself, it makes sense why I was the way I am. I could see all the impacts that my childhood had in me, and I could see a full image of who I am. I could see a whole image of why I am the way I am. I could almost see myself as if I'm somebody else. And then I was observing myself from all the way when I was born to now. And it makes logical sense why I am the way I am. And as an observer, I came back to myself and I said, I embrace who I am. Now that I know who I am with all my ups and downs, I accept myself as a package. And I said, I still choose to love myself. I still choose to love myself. A minute when you embrace yourself as a package, as who you are with everything that comes with you because of your history, and when you choose to love yourself, you become powerful. You become powerful. This is who you are. And then you decide, who do you want to be? Then you decide where you want to be, who do you want to be, and what are the changes that you have to make. The person who you want to be is going to be someone that aligns with the love. It's going to be someone that is creative, someone that's lovely, someone that all you want to be. And it's really important to know where you are right now with no judgment, with no critical thinking, without criticizing, knowing where you stand, who you are right now, and embracing it, who you are, helps you a lot to move to where you want to be. Unless you know where you are now, it is very hard to change to who you want to be. And when you are on that journey of changing yourself to who you want to be, you realize it's really hard to change. It is very hard to change. And then you learn that is what you are asking from people that you care, the people that you love, people who are in a relationship with you. That is what you are asking from your child to change overnight. That is what you're asking from your coworkers and friends. When you realize that it's very difficult change, it takes constant effort, conscious effort to make that change. And then you realize you need a support from other people. You need to get that support from other people. You have to feel safe. Unless you feel safe with this person, unless you feel accepted by this person, you're not going to go there and cry. You're not going to go there and cry. It is so difficult. So be that person where people that you care about comes to you for a shoulder, comes to you for a support. And the best support you can give is a silence, grace, and acceptance. It's the greatest gift you can give to somebody else. Be present. Listen to all the complaints. Listen to all the effort that this person is doing, and just being present is the most precious gift you can give. That's who I want to be for my family members. That's who I want to be for my parents. That's who I want to be for all of you guys. And then the interesting part is that is the only way to change. That is the only way to change. And that is the only authentic way to change. Only genuine way to change. There are other ways to change which is not authentic. You pretend that you change, but in fact you're not changing. You lie. When you want somebody to change, the first thing is to work on yourself so that you embrace yourself. And while you're on the journey to embrace yourself, you realize it's hard. It's really, really hard to embrace yourself. And then changing is also hard after you embrace yourself. It's a lifetime journey, but that's the only way. And when you're asking somebody to change, this is what you're asking. This is exactly what you're asking them. Now it makes sense to embrace them for who they are, and then support them on their journey to change to who they want to be. Not because you want them to change, but only because they choose to change. And that's the only way. And now that you have this information, I'm hoping that you are going to start this journey of discovering more about yourself. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the content, and I'll see you guys in my next video.